Hi, everyone, and welcome to ECE 202. I'm Miss Celeste, and I will be your professor through this course. We are in week 4, the final week, and this is part 15 of our video lessons here. So today we are going to focus on applying hands-on learning in the classroom. So I'm going to try to give you some helpful strategies and also try to explain the importance of hands-on learning overall within your classroom. Before we start, though, I just want to make sure that we are successfully completing our reading, our discussion, your replies to those discussions to your peers, and also the final assignment. In addition, we also have our practicum. So I do need that information of where you would be doing that practicum so I can approve the school so you can start that as soon as possible, okay? So children are more likely to develop skills when they are having fun, but also when the skills have meaning for them. Hands-on learning aims to provide for both of these characteristics of learning. So it's really, really meaningful when the children are exploring their learning through fun activities with their peers, with the teacher, but also skills that are going to be of help to their development, most importantly. So let's begin. So why hands-on learning? Well, there's many reasons of why we should apply these hands-on learning tools. Well, it activates a lot of stimulation within the brain. When activities require multiple processes, such as movement and talking and sensory experience and inquiry, multiple brain regions are activated. So many parts of the brain is being used. So this really can expand and strengthen the natural connections in the brain. And that's what we really want to do, especially in early education, early learning. Children are definitely building upon those connections rapidly, which is the essential in the early years of life. So as these brain pathways are still being created and developing, we have to give them that information to create those connections. We also want to encourage interactions with nature. So hands-on learning often involves play in and outside of the classroom. So this can encourage interactions with nature and further education into the environment around them, the environmental process, just everything within their environment has so much meaning. And so when they're allowed to kind of engage with that, they have so much fun doing that. And then we also have the sensory development. So as the time kind of progresses, the hands-on learning often involves the use of hands in a direct, tactical way. So this helps to encourage sensory development as children encounter different textures and materials in their learning experiences. And also be mindful that textures can have a sensitivity to some. So just be mindful of that, observe that, watch that, because there are some textures that some children will like or not like, so you may have to do some changing with that depending on the child. And then we have our fine motor skills. So, relating to the last point, the use of hands in learning helps to develop those fine motor skills associated with the control of the small muscle in the hands. These skills are important for things like writing and manipulating material and many, many other areas as well. So this learning experience really, really supports the child's overall learning, right? So experimental learning often forms the strongest imprint in long-term memory, which means that the things children learn in a hands-on setting stick in their brains better and longer. So hands-on learning is very much an experience that is very meaningful, to the child's development, the connections within the brain, and also essential overall in the early years of life. Areas that can, that cover the hands-on learning. These are just some examples that I like to share. So you can implement that within the art, the dramatic play, the eye-hand coordination to really focus on those small motor development. We have the health and safety aspect. Holiday traditions can be incorporated. Language and literacy is another big component that I hope a lot of early childhood classrooms are incorporating, and often. If that's not just in a large group, it definitely can be that one-on-one experience. And then of course, math, music, movement, and physical activity. The outdoor play, which is a big, right, which I just mentioned, to experience it hands-on learning and exploring their environment. A lot of science and nature fun projects can apply that hands-on learning. Social emotional learning, getting to know more about themselves and kind of going through those experiences can help kind of navigate their choices, help navigate how the process is, which is very meaningful. The sensory learning, the social group interactions, and of course, depending on the age, we can incorporate a lot of technology or writing lessons for children. So what's the benefit? Well, it's more engaging, right? The way we learn. So the more that we're part of the process, we again retain information and longer as well. It also leads to increased retention, like I just mentioned. And the more that we can retain information, exercise our brain to do that, the more that we can remember how to do things, right? So it also offers, practice in problem solving and critical thinking. So it really tries to get children to think of other ways of doing things, even challenging themselves to get through the process, which is something that we really want to instill early on, because when they go through any challenge, we want them to really conquer through it and get through it and get the support they need to get through it and know how to get through it. So there's many learning opportunities there. And then often results in physical creation. So we also want to support, right, the whole child. So in order to apply that hands-on learning, so many different parts of their body is being exercised, and it's really helping them grow and learn. And this is just kind of a map of the child in ECE. So these are all the things that we are supporting when we apply hands-on learning. So we're really activating the child's mind to kind of learn new things. We're getting them excited and curious naturally. We're really focusing on their emotional and thoughtfulness within how they think and do things. The communication and interaction with people is a big part of something that we want to support and exercise often. And then, of course, the enjoyment of learning and playing and being a part of that process is something we want them to enjoy, especially if it's their first time in school. We really want to give them that solid foundation, solid introduction to understanding that learning is very much fun. And that it's something that they really, really enjoy. And lastly, thank you so much for your time today. I hope that was some great feedback and ideas that you can use within your classroom. I hope that you encourage that hands-on learning in your classroom. You give children many opportunities to do that often, and you have that part of your lesson plan. If you don't already, please reflect on that lesson plan. Please try to apply more opportunities for hands-on learning so children can be part of the process. So thank you again. I'm Professor Celeste, and I will see you next time. Thank you so much.